Okay, my point of discussion today will be focusing on the aspect of personality and the type approach. So, type approach, Sheldon has initiated that personality can be classified according to different types. So in front of your screen, you find various pictures of a person, and according to those various pictures, Sheldon was able to classify this body type into three. These three were A, B, and C. Okay, and what is the C picture resembles? Which body type? Anyone? C. Look at C picture, picture number C.
Sir,
Endomorph.
endomorph.
Very good,
Endomorph.
very good, very good. And look at the picture A.
Ectomorph.
Okay, and picture B.
Mesomorph.
Mesomorph. Exactly. Sheldon did this work in 1940s. William Herbert Sheldon, he classified people under body types in 1940s, and he split into three categories, and these three categories are called as somatotype. Somatotype means body type. Do remember or underline or write this term somatotype, which means body type. Okay, that is being used by the Sheldon, William Herbert Sheldon, 1940s. And the best part is that if I ask you a question, in which subject did have you heard about Sheldon's body classification? What will be your answer?
Psychology, sir. Sociology of sports.
Okay, but in any other, just recollect, in any other subject, have you read about the body type?
Anatomy and physiology, sir.
Yeah, in anatomy and physiology also many times this topic is referred, and because of the physiological characteristics. Okay, but I should tell you that William Herbert Sheldon, when he made the body classification, which is called as somatotype in 1940s, in which he categorized the body according to the physiological characteristics, that is round shape, muscular or thin, the physiological characteristics. Actually, he did this study to understand the behavior of an individual based on the characteristics, the physiological characteristics. And for you, this information is that Sheldon this research work on the criminals. He did this study on the prisoners in the jail, and he came up with a lot of research paper into it. Nowadays, this is not accepted because it's very difficult to classify a person purely being an endomorph or purely being an ectomorph or purely being a mesomorph. But the physiological characteristic of endomorph, who is round or pear shaped, with a high percentage of body fat, are according to Sheldon, are known to have the psychological characteristics of being relaxed, tolerant, fun loving, and very sociable. Whereas, on the contrary, the ectomorph who were thin, underweight, okay, very less percentage of fat, they were having considered to be with psychological characteristics, behavioral characteristics of being creative, artistic, and thoughtful. And the third body type, that is mesomorph, muscular, with broad shoulders and narrow hips, they were having the psychological characteristics of being active, dominant, courageous, and little aggressive. So this was the Sheldon's classification of of personality according to the body type. If you get a question that Sheldon classification of personality is a type approach or a trait approach, what is the correct answer?
Sir, type.
Sir, type.
It is a type approach.
Type.
Very good. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. Now, one more classification I would like is about the Jung's classification. The Sheldon classified the body classified the personality according to the body type, whereas Jung did not classify according to the body type, but according to the behavior. And again, you can note it down. One more important piece of information. Carl Jung is a person who is contributor to the term. He coined the term introvert and extrovert. He classified the personality types as introvert and extrovert. Remember, I did not use the term. Which term I did not use? Can someone just let me know? I used introvert and extrovert. Which term I did not use? There is a third term associated with it, sometimes, many times. Anyone?
Don't know, sir.
Introvert, extrovert, any other third term which is associated with introvert, extrovert? Come on, master degree. There is a third term, ambivert. Okay, but ambivert, I'm not talking right now. But as far as Carl Jung, he created two classification of personality of introvert and extrovert. Okay, yeah, and he is the person who introduced this world to the and further all the new psychologists adapted from the Carl Jung's work only. Okay, and this introvert and extrovert are the personality attitude. Okay, but along with the personality attitude, he distinguished the other factor called as personality function. This is something very different. Personality functions, which can be classified into four different personality functions, that is feeling, intuitive, thinking and sensing. And personality attitude is introvert and extrovert. So if we keep the personality attitude and personality function together, okay, so it somewhere looks like this personality attitude, that introverts are those who are reserved in nature, who keep very close relationship, who are less social, who are more quiet, and who prefer not to be the center of attention, and who think more before they speak. It's not about having they are good or bad. Understand? It's not about good or bad. It's just a classification. Because for PE teachers and for teachers and for coaches, it's important that how we change the condition and situation around him. But for changing the situation and condition, we need to understand whether he's an introvert or whether he's an extrovert. So it's very important. So when we see that the person we call as extrovert, who are very social in nature, who prefer to be having the networking more of often, who prefer to have the being the center of attraction, who are brave and open to speak out, and who prefer to be in the bigger groups, and they love to work in as a team, and they are more outgoing and very enthusiastic. So again, if you recollect the athletes around you of the past or in the current situation, you'll find either people may be on the extrovert end or on the introvert end. So this is a term which was coined by uh, Carl Jung. And later on this term is used in nowadays modern psychology also, wherein we applied with to change the condition and environment by understanding this introvert and extrovert. Yeah, and then introvert and extrovert can be added on with the personality functions, which I will not go on to it right now in this session. We'll discuss in the because it's the beyond the scope of this subject. But another term which is ambivert, you should always remember. This term was never coined by Carl Jung, but further psychologists have used the term ambivert, which reflects the combination of both introvert and extrovert. So many times you see that it's challenging to identify or classify an athlete as a introvert or an extrovert, because I said that interaction theory works in the modern sports. Only interaction theory works. So even if you try to classify someone as an introvert and extrovert, it's very difficult. You'll find that you are starting getting a blend of being introvert and extrovert. Anyone in this class who feel that they are a blend of introvert as well as extrovert? Anyone? Anyone? They can raise their hand. Anyone who feel that they have a blend, a mix of both introvert and extrovert? Yes, very good. One hand is visible. Yes. So yes, okay, very good, very good, very good. So how do you call them? If you have such an athlete, if you have such an athlete who raise their hand, okay, who think that they're more, who are introvert as well as extrovert, what do you do that? Yes, then the new term was coined. It was not at all coined by Gustav Carl Jung. Later on, the future psychologists coined this term, and that is called as ambivert. Ambivert, a blend of both introvert and extrovert. So in your exams, competition, situational questions, someone asks that the athlete is a blend of both introvert and extrovert. What will you refer him as or her as? So answer is, it will be referred as ambivert. So that's all for today's session. We'll discuss further with different personality traits and various other aspects. Hope you enjoyed and liked this session, and hope it was not too much of boring, and I hope there was a lot of information for you to gather and note it down, and surely you might have liked the session. With that, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks. And the house is open for discussion. Thank you.